group travels in means of trying to be in search of that of the three missing members, to be exact. Of course, that being Ursula, the were-tiger, and of course, Drake, the satyr. And then, of course, there's Nora, the walking mermaid. The group manages to find the other three, being attacked by three soldiers, Azirs, in which are metal-made entities, constructed and forged within the interior of Taurus, under the influence of Xander and of the salamanders that he befriends. So let us take a look as to what happens next. Of course, Nora, Ursula, and Drake are fighting against the Azirs with the elemental stones that they still bear. Nora using the water elemental to create water-bound entities in the forested area. These creatures referred to as water weirds, trying to inflict a battle against the Azirs in means of trying to consume them. Of course, during the fight, during the progression, in which lasts about 30 seconds at least, causing the Azirs to automatically die in the process. As of which, there are also another battle inflicting between two creatures, particularly that of the same challenge rating, yet they can be a tough match to behold. As the group suddenly discovers, of course, that even despite with the Earthstone being disintegrated in an acidic, gelatinous cube, as previously mentioned, it appears that the Earth Elemental has escaped from the magic's pull of the stone itself, merely escaping with its reach. Creations of the Stone Elemental are all gone. However, of course, interference with the Fire Elemental still remains. As for Earth Elemental had managed to escape from the stone, in means of fighting the group physically alongside the Azirs. Slouch the Unicorn knows this, and says, "You know what? I have a better idea. I've been waiting to do this for a very long time." And Slouch, he had rammed his horn into what appears to be an enormous... what appears to be an enormous mound of bush and vines, thorns. He does this, and as it does, rises into an abnormal embodiment, an abomination that is made of pure green and vines of lush. This entity, of course, created under the magical horn of Slouch itself, of the unicorn's touch of the horn through the vegetation of life. This creature is called a shambling mound. Creature rises from its grounds and moves across with its enormous vegetated body, and the two foes face against each other, Earth versus Plant. It is time to begin the battle. First, starting with... Well, what do I first start with? Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'll start with Earth first. Alright, let's do... Okay. Now then, let's get this over with. So. Sorry. Okay, starting with the Earth Elemental, we'll roll for damage. That's going to be 9 plus 5 is a 14, does not hit. 15 plus 4, that hits. As it does, Shambling Mound will perform a... Well, actually, never mind. Perform one slam attack, which will be a 2d8 of bludgeoning damage. That'll be 8 plus 6. 14 plus 14. Okay, it's 18 total. So that's going to be 1... Well, actually, hold up. Bludgeoning... Yeah, I thought so. So it's only 9 damage. So let's do 1. Boop. So it's going to be 9 damage, so I think that'll lead it down to, I think 17. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Earth Elemental's turn. 11 plus 5 is 16, hits. Earth Elemental will perform a slam attack also, which was also another 2d8 of damage. Shambling Mound takes 9 points. Takes 9 points of bludgeoning damage. It is not resistant to it. Takes the damage, leads it down to 27. Perfect. 11 plus 4 is going to be a 15, does not hit. 6, nope. 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 I'm going to roll different dice. I'm rolling the bad one. Apologies, everyone. Finally. 13 plus 4 is 17, which hits. Shambling Man will perform an engulf attack. Let me see this. I meant to start. Okay, so, it engulfs this as an extra attack. So by next of the mound's next turn, that being said, the Earth Elemental is grappled and restrained and blinded. So grappled, restrained, and blinded. Okay, so, sorry. It's safe to assume that we can perform another player's attack sequence. Players, well, actually, I think the players are fine. I don't think they need to fight. So, blinded means attack rolls have disadvantage. Attackers have advantage. Grappled, speed becomes 0. Restrained, what's a disadvantage? Disadvantage on dexterity saves. So, Earth Elemental's turn. Okay, automatically fails. Shambling Mound. So that's going to be a failure again. 12. So that's 12 plus 5. Hold up, I don't know what I'm rolling. 19. That's awesome. Okay, Shambling Mound performs. Oh wait, hold up. Constitution? Well, succeeds. Earth Elemental is releases from the engulfed grip. So, Earth Elemental escapes from the grip. Shambling Mound rolls, automatically succeeds, and as it does, will perform. Actually, let me take a look. Nope, fails. Okay. Okay, so now, Shambling Mound will perform a 2d8. Okay, that's going to be 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 points of bludgeoning damage. Resisted to that would be, you could say like 4. So like, Earth Elemental's turn is next. 1. Sorry guys. Oh. Finally, 16, which passes. Will attempt to engulf the Earth Elemental in its vines and cores. As it does, will perform eight plus 4 is 12, and that would be 6. Okay. 7 plus 5, 12. Does not hit. That doesn't hit either. That hits. That hits also. Earth Elemental will perform another slam attack. Nine points bludgeoning damage against it. After the Shambling Mound does the same thing. Well, actually, 7. 7 plus 4, which will be 11. Of course, it would be 5. I think it's safe to say that the group will have to do it now. So the group, they fight against that of the Azirs, in which have died already. Previously intended. So let's first start with that of the first group. Starting with the Drake. Ew. Well, it has to be, what about Nora? Nora is that one. So 13 fails. Where's the, okay. Let me see. So 5, that'll be plus 3. Ooh, right. Garen Windstrike attacks as he does. Let me see this. Okay. Garrett will perform cold damage, breathing his breath against Earth Elemental. It means of kind of like weathering a mountain to pieces is what Garrett's trying to perform. Okay, that's going to be 11 points of cold damage. Unless Earth Elemental, okay, automatically succeeds. Takes half of the damage. Takes 5 of it. Leading it down to this. Okay, so that's it. Last is going, well actually Marita is next in line. So like, Marita, Slouch, both fail. Next up is the enemy's turn. Earth Elemental will first, well of course that does succeed. Of course, performing a weapon attack against Drake, trying to crush him. Attempting to do so, and of course that being said, be 2d8 plus 5. Ooh, 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 damage against Drake. That's going to lead him down to 21 health. 2 slam attacks fail. Actually, we could do that half. I think the reason why, so let's write it down as 26. Okay. So let's, Shambling Mound succeeds with an advantage. I keep forgetting that Earth Elemental is still submerged. See, if he succeeds Constitution, he escapes. Okay. Alright, 8 plus 6 would be... Okay, so 8 plus 6 is going to be 14, plus 4 is 18. That's still going to be 9 damage, so 88. Alright, now next up we're going to do... Starting with Drake. Natural 20. And the next up would be 9, which would be Nora, which she fails. 13, which for 8 would be Ursula. Plus 3, not even close. 14, okay, and next up would then be Garrett. So 14 plus 3, which would also hit. But first we start with that of Drake. We'll perform, actually, let me take a look at this. Shoot. It's going to be 3, 2, 5, plus 1, which would be 6. And then 6, double that would be 12. But, of course, that's only going to inflict that of the damage. And as for Garrett, we'll also perform another breath attack. My bad. 6, 5, and 3. It's going to be 14 cold damage. 14 cold damage against the Earth Elemental. 13? Yeah, 14. 14 damage. Okay, Garrett's turn. And next up would be Marita. Dang it. Dang it! Never mind. Next up is enemy's turn. Tempest 5 hits someone. Shambling Mount. Deals against that of 2d8 of bludgeoning damage also. 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 being 15 bludgeoning damage. Draining it. Right? Yeah, 15 bludgeoning damage. Shambling Mount. Let's re-roll. Okay. That is awesome. I just got an 18 from that. Okay. Alright, now I have to roll some of these. Okay, so now 8, 3, 16, 3, 19 plus 8. So 19 plus 8, which will be 27 damage of bludgeoning. And then of course divided by 2, 27 divided by 2, which will be... Dang it. I gotta do the math in my head. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's gonna be like, what, 14 damage? Leading it down at 54 health. As the adventurers had managed to fight aggressively against the Earth Elemental and his Ring of Terror in means of trying to kill the group of finishing them off. Luckily, the group does manage to destroy the Earth Elemental, alongside that of the Azirs, in which are also, too, consumed in the Water Weird's control. The group, as they had managed to destroy the Earth Elemental, managed to somewhat celebrate in victory. But they are all terrified, as of course that this is a witness of an ambush, a massacre in which inflicted upon the group once Garrett had separated from them. "Wait a minute," said Merida. "This doesn't make any sense. Xander has planned an ambush the moment you separated from us, Xander. The moment you separated from us, Garrett. Xander knows where you are going and knows of how far of a distance you are moving from him. How is that?" And Garrett says, "Well, only one way to find out. We have to find him quick." Slouch the Unicorn tells him that the Oracle has proclaimed this before, and it appears that this Oracle, so-called, has struck fear into Xander's heart. Of course, I have detected magic in which Xander would be wielded into a kingdom one day, trying to strike revenge upon those that have opposed against that of even the most strongest and most powerful of the creatures of the flame species itself. Xander used to be a paladin during that of the time of Taurus' kingdom during that of the old days. Of course, the wizards had created that of the Tengon pedestals, in means of preserving Venet. Xander was proclaimed in which that the oracle had told him one day if he would follow of his deeds, would he be killed by a being of celestial magic. Of course, the oracle had used its words, but not on purpose of trying to strike fear. Xander is in the kingdom right now, and he'll do anything to prevent that future from occurring, escaping from the fate that the oracle has told him. One in which, of course, that the celestial magic will permanently destroy him, if ever that he would follow this deed. Of course, Xander, corrupted by fear, does the opposite. Of course, not just of Xander that be corrupted by the oracle's words, but Venet, trying to strengthen his needs of changing that fate. Venet, turning him from his fate in means of finding a purpose in life. So Venet, the black dragon preserved by magic through the center of the land, has asked of the errand of Xander, in means of wielding an army, and Venet will too also assist him with the creations that he too has made with the breath of his acidic power, the acid in which forms into what we know of the gelatinous cubes, which, of course, as I have discovered of you and your group, Garrett, that the gelatinous cubes had managed to risen in a matter of time, suggesting that a war has outbreak, and Xander has prepared his conquest, and he won't stop until this conquest will complete until the month's end, or might I say, the year. And Garrett, he's concerned. He's like, "But what does this mean? Why does Xander want to finish and try and creating revenge throughout the entire year?" And Slouch answers this question by saying, well, let's just say that over the years, of course, Xander had lost his humanity. It means that the oracle has corrupted him so much in which his fate was simple, yet he has not realized it yet. The only way of finding out is if you live until that of month's end, Xander will fade in ash, along with all of his tyranny falling apart, all of leaving that for his soul to possess someone, for him to continue conquest, but in the body of some different individual, one in which will lose his humanity far so entirely, and that he'll no longer be a human again. The only way how to stop him now is that the celestial being, particularly still unknown, would have tried to bound up his magic, in means of permanently destroying his soul. And that can only be achieved by that of very powerful strength, magic in which the wizards have been bestowed with, in which they had lost it many years from many. Still, with that magic gone, the only means of trying to defeat him now is to get to Kingdom Taurus, find that magic, and destroy Xander, if ever for him to fade in ash. The group takes a long silence, tries taking this information in from Slouch's words. Slouch the Unicorn telling them of this information, being very, very surprising in some way. But no matter what, Garrett reassures the group, "Do not worry, for Slouch will help us. For he, even though he has been protector before of these lands, will perform an army for us to create an assault against the kingdom, and of Xander's armies and reinforcements. We'll just have to prepare when the time is right." And Slouch, no, not Slouch. And then Drake, he asks, "Why not now? Now is a perfect time. He'll never know when we are coming." But Garrett says, "If we wait now, by the end of this day, Xander will still send soldiers and reinforcements in means of killing me, even though I know nothing of his history. Me and Xander do not even know each other. I haven't even met him physically, for all it's worth. Why in any way does Xander want me, Garrett Windstrike, to be dead, after what he and his fleet had done to my parents, killing both my dragon mother and my human father, both? It is I who should seek revenge upon him, not him seeking revenge upon I, for I have done nothing to him." Slouch was really concerned of this question as well, and was like, "You know what? It's a good question. Perhaps even before we inflict the war, why not ask the question? Be interested as to why Xander is doing this, per se." But the group does not decide to sleep until that morning. They do not. Instead of sleeping, the group, and Slouch the Unicorn, attempt to walk into the kingdom's land itself. Slouch sets off in means of grabbing the army, before the group almost might be attacked by the armies of the fire demon itself. Of course, the first of these creatures in which to step forth, well, of course not step, slithering through, Garrett Windstrike walks into the deserted lands, the lands in which the fields were grazed by the slaves, like himself, in which he too, like other slaves, were grabbed by coincidence, working in the fields as from the very beginning. But of course during that of the month's beginning, and for the months progressing that Garrett had worked in these fields, now officially has been permanently empty of slaves. Not a single humanoid being of any kind, all of nothing but pure flames and dryness. A strange, flame-like creature, Salamander Chieftain, moves into his direction, approaching. Of course, Garrett asks, "Why is this happening? Why is Xander, and any of you, wanting to corrupt and conquest throughout this entire land?" Salamander Chieftain replies, "We know who you are. The Oracle has told us of your kind, and of what you are capable of." Of course, Garrett, not so much surprised at this, asks, "But this doesn't make any sense. Even as what the Oracle says, this is not the right thing to preventing that future." Salamander Chieftain says, "Oh, it has. The Oracle we must prove wrong. For the Oracle told us, personally, as us Flamefolk and Salamanders, that our kind will be permanently destroyed, wiped out of our adulthood. As for that of the youth remaining alive, weak, and will have to wait until the years approach. And our race will be permanently destroyed by the powers of a Dragonborn, with the breath of ice. In which wise, that being the case, we have to kill both parents of yours, both your human father and Delta, the magnificent gray ice dragon of Delta Mountain itself." Of course, Garrett is somewhat very struck by this, and yet seeks for vengeance. Garrett says, "No matter what happens of what the Oracle says, killing my parents was a very wrong deed on your part. Instead of preventing what the Oracle had proclaimed of your fate, you had sealed it by killing my parents. And now look before you, in front of you, for I, myself, am a dragonborn of the icy breath itself, and all because you killed my parents, and you were the ones who dragged me here today. Salamander cannot take it. It says, "If you want war, we'll give you war. For us salamanders, we're delighted of setting things aflame, and we cannot let that be taken away from us, ever again. Xander is our savior for all of fire elementals throughout the land of the material plane. And now this plane will be permanently consumed by elemental chaos. Even with one elemental stone destroyed, must fire permanently scorch everything into ash." Salamander Chieftain blew his horn, and as he did, the war begins. As a war breaks out with the fleets of salamanders and all the fire snakes attacking through their field, the group does also discover that of Annette's creations, the gelatinous cubes. Very few of them, for all it's worth, and as which also magma mephits are also summoned under the combinations of earth and fire together, despite earth elemental being left aside. And the adventurers also see the fire elemental itself, one bound to the stone in which Xander holds. Even Xander not being seen in the field, his army is clearly seen as a strong fleet of erupting orange-red flames, and across of that of the Taurus mountain, being the giant toppest peak, one like a volcano, with the giant red-orange flaming mist flowing across the entirety of the land. As nighttime breaks through the entire field of the desert, the adventurers look behind them to see that Slouched Unicorn arrives with assistance. While gathering that of 4 particular different species, Slouched Unicorn tells the adventurers, "Hurry! We have to go now!" And Slouch unleashes the Shambling Mound from earlier, alongside the Griffins, Pegasuses, and the Ankhegs. The Ankhegs, three in which, burrowing through the deserted grounds, through the soil, and now coming out, ready to charge. The Griffins and Pegasuses, their wings magnificently flowing through the breeze, flying into the sky, ready to dive down, attacking the twisted creatures. The Water Weird. It appears that the elementals that in which the group bears, water and air, have combined in means of creating forces against the flames. Water weirds also are created under the water elementals, Ice mephits, particularly 5, 2 in which are lesser of the magma mephits, in which are created from the 2 elementals together, creating them as minions. And air elemental bodyguards, summoned by their master, created into assistants called the Invisible Stalkers, unleashed into battle also. Versus that of the evil side, of course that being the salamanders and the fire snakes, magma mephits, Vanette's creations of the gelatinous cubes, and the fire elemental itself, ready to unleash a battle from water and air versus the armies of fire. As the battle unravels, the group manages to crawl through a tunnel system within the interior of the kingdom, one which proclaims that the survivors, slaves and citizens alike in the urban city, have used the tunnel system in means of avoiding the war, using it as an escape route. As for Xander, was very furious of this. Ursula is also concerned of this as well, saying, "Wait a minute. The tunnel system has not been open for a long time. If Xander was smart enough, he would have tried guarding it by now. If perhaps maybe the other side would have been opened." The group looks at one another, specifically either Ursula, Drake, Nora, neither one of them could have opened the tunnel through the other side, in means of saving the citizens and claiming themselves as heroes. They crawl through the tunnel system, and as they do, they see a man in which has dark, gray, zombified skin, reeking and slothering to the ground. And across the ground is a giant black ragged cloak, his hair flowing, very long and dark, yet death covers the entire body of his. At least that's what the group sees. The man notices them and turns around. "You adventurers, you have a lot of guts coming down here," said the man. Garrett is concerned of who this man is. "Who are you?" Garrett asks. "I am Xander, your worst enemy." Slouch the Unicorn steps through and asks, "Sir, you have to stand your grounds, for you are now surrounded by us, and we are here to stop you in your ring of terror, unleashing the armies of the flame against our likeness, against nature." Xander laughs at this and says, "Nature? There is no nature. The wizards of the land have permanently unbalanced nature. If it weren't for their magic, Vanette would be free. If perhaps during the case, that the giant, enormous Titan Destructor would also destroy the land as well, if not for them. And besides, you group, all of you, are not really that much of a problem for me, as of what you could tell." Ursula's concerned. She's upset, but asks, "What do you mean that we're not much of a threat to you? We are here to stop you." And Xander says, "You really think that you and your group are that of the only people that are trying to stop me? Do you not understand what has happened to the citizens of the Kingdom Taurus? This wasn't your doing. The citizens were saved by someone else entirely, apart from your group. Someone in which the salamanders had feared the most, if ever." He specifically looks at Garrett, to whom that of the entire group looks at him specifically, to Garrett's view. Garrett asks, "But I've done nothing wrong. Why in any way would you seek revenge upon me, the salamanders, for all it's worth?" Xander responds, "Well, there's a problem. It appears that the Oracle proclaims that a Dragonborn with the breath of ice would destroy the salamander. Turns out, the Oracle's words have already been finished, and it wasn't you that did it. For you were not the Dragonborn that you feared, but a Dragonborn blue, similar to witches." Garrett says, "There's sister, Gabrielle. It appears that she too is a Dragonborn that bears the ice breath itself." Garrett, "Gabrielle, my twin sister? That's right, she is. And apart from you and your group, it appears that without friends, she had managed to get the job done, save the city. And I'm sure it's not going to let another one of these Dragonborn species step on you again." Zane reveals that the elemental had known of fire somewhat coded in technical blessing. Still stating, "If you wish to fight me, go ahead. I fear none of you." Xander embraces the battle against the entire